So hi, a very warm welcome. As I had told you all that we are going to study and go through and review the entire chapter of common business terminologies, which is your lesson number 8 for business communication. Okay, business communication. This is your lesson number 8. Okay. Now this common business terminologies, I'm sure you all must have, since in case you all are all July attempt students, you all must have completed your other subjects which are there. Okay, even your law related, etc. So most of the concepts and terms are from there only. So this is the chapter which you can take it up last after you all finish all that other portion. Okay, so this is the way you are supposed to go about with this chapter. And those who are giving the attempt in November, so yes, of course, for you all the advice is that once you all have finished reading and studying the other chapters and legal aptitude, and you all have that logical reasoning, environment related law, other laws. So once you all are done with that, after that come to these this chapter, it will become very easy for you all because you will be already accustomed with those terms. All right. So just to begin with, okay, I will be taking you, I cannot go, we cannot do all the terminologies, but the ones which I feel that you all might find difficulty in understanding, I will take up that. And even you all can let me know if you all have some specific terminology, if in case you all have not understood. Okay, so the session is open to talk. You all can just unmute yourself, and you all can also help me understand if you all have facing any difficulty. Otherwise, you all can even message me, I'll solve your doubt over there as well. Okay, now just to understand what this chapter is about, they have started that this topic of business terminology is the main vehicle by which facts, opinions, and other higher units of knowledge are represented and conveyed. Yes, because when you talk about law, okay, law has a language. Law in itself has a legal language. Okay, so there are certain terms in business. Okay, when you are exchanging, corresponding, you are supposed to use those terms. You're supposed to know those terms. Okay, so that is why this chapter is there, and it resolves all the ambiguity across while communication. Okay, sound terminology work is meant for reducing this ambiguity and increasing the clarity. Okay, so it is a particular factor which describes in how business communication actually takes place, giving us the meaning of each type of terms used day to day in and out by all the organizations across. Okay, now 10 most important terms. Okay, first but most important terms, English terms. One is management. We will always come across this word management. We even did this in just yesterday in this lesson number 7, correct, of our e-correspondence. MIS system, management information system. What is management there? So management are those who are in charge of running the business. They are in charge of making the strategic planning, setting up the goals, achieving them. Business, it is you can say an activity which is providing either goods or services involved in financial, commercial, and other industrial aspects. Marketing, it is a process involved for promoting and selling and distributing either a product and a service in order to have a name in the market. Profit, of course, all the amount left after you have deducted your expenses. Telecommuting involves working at home, usually on a computer. Downsizing, when there is a reduction in number of my employees in the firm. Okay, I'm laying off certain employees, it will be known as downsizing. Outsourcing, there are some activities in an organization which are outsourced to different departments. So say they might have outsourced the legal work to another company. They are outsourcing their marketing work to another organization. So outsourcing are those activities which are given to another organization for the purpose of having efficient work done. Okay, research and development, R&D. Research and development, business or government activity that is purposely designed to stimulate invention and innovation. So anytime if a business wants to say have its place in India, okay, there is some foreign organization who wants to come up and set up their office in India, they want to sell their product in India, first most important step is research and development. Lakhs and millions of rupees have been, the expenses for R&D are so high, because it is the most important step to know whether you'll be able to survive or there is a demand of that product in that given market. Then you have headquarters. The headquarters, it is the office that serves as the administrative center of an enterprise. Okay, so the enterprise can have several offices across the globe, but where are the main headquarters? The center is headquarters. Then the market, the place where the commercial good service etc are sold. So these are the most important 10 terminologies. One MCQ from here I'm sure it's going to be asked. Then they start with other terminologies, they have gone alphabetic wise. Okay, so now acceptance of bill of exchange is the first one. Now, acceptance of bill of exchange. Bill of exchange is nothing but an invoice, okay? A bill, invoice. Okay, if I am selling my goods, I am the seller, there is a buyer. I am selling my goods on credit. Okay, and I'm doing regular business with my buyer. I will issue him a bill of exchange in which it will state that this is the amount, the date, the number of goods sold, etc., invoice number, my GST number, etc. Okay, and the period of the credit I am giving to them. The moment I send my invoice to the buyer, he has to accept it. That is known as acceptance of bill of exchange. He will also sign it, or now it is over the email. So yes, they send across that yes, kindly share your invoice, kindly share your bill of exchange, your payment will be cleared after you share it. So that's an acceptance of bill of exchange, correct? Then there is acknowledgement. Acknowledgement means you're acknowledging a document. Okay, so say I tell you that you have to give your Aadhaar card for the purpose of admission. You need to self-attest it, acknowledge it. Okay, so then you're signing it. Or you have gone to a bank and you need a letter to be acknowledged by that bank clerk. So you tell them that, sir, I've bought 2 copies. Kindly you give your acknowledgement on one. Correct? Then third is your acquisition cost. Acquisition cost is nothing but they are those costs in acquiring new customers. Acquisition means to acquire. So it is a cost acquired for new customers. Act of God, we all know. Okay, any term, okay, that is caused due to the nature, okay, which is beyond human control. Fifth, action. Now, this action is not what you all see in movies. We are talking about business terminologies. We're talking about something known as legal language also. So, they are called as a case or a lawsuit. Okay, it is the civil proceedings. Then we have ADB. ADB, oh, I'm just numbering it so that you all know how many are there. And try to finish this chapter with me only, okay? There is nothing difficult in this. So, Asian Development Bank. Then adjournment, postponing a court session, a meeting for another time, place, okay, adjourned. Adjudication, a decision, okay, a sentence which is imposed by the judge. While I'm explaining, you all have any doubt? Because the ones which are very simple, of course, I'll be going a little quick on them. Okay, so if you all have doubt, you all can stop and you all can ask. Okay, you all can stop me and ask me in between. I have allowed you all to unmute yourselves. Affidavit. Affidavit is nothing but an oath. Okay, it is a oath given and signed in presence of a judicial officer. Affidavit or a notary public, okay, or a oath commissioner, that is admissible as an evidence in the court of law. Okay, so say suppose I have lost my I have lost my share certificate. Okay, so I want to get a duplicate share certificate. So I write an affidavit in which I state that, I take a promise that this is the details, my personal details, my house details are so and so. I'm talking about the share certificate of a house, okay, of a society. So I give an affidavit to the society stating all my details, that I please kindly issue me a duplicate share certificate. It is admissible in the court of law. Then we have affirmation. Affirmation, to affirm, to say a yes, declaring something to be true under the penalty of perjury by a person who will not take an oath for religious or other reasons. Okay, something which is true. Okay, but affirmation is used specifically under the penalty of perjury by a person. Perjury means to say false, okay, give wrong evidences, etc. Agenda, a program listing. What is your agenda for the business? What is the agenda for your meeting today? Okay. Agent, the ones we appoint to do certain work. Okay, so we have these brokers, they are also agents, no, a person appointed to do some kind of a business on behalf of the principal, and in turn he gets paid a commission. Then you have allegation, saying that something is true, the assertion, declaration, or a statement of a party in case made in a pleading. So say I have filed a case against Mr. B. So I have put allegations against Mr. B that this he has done. Okay, those things are known as allegation. Allotment, issuing of shares. If you have subscribed for the shares of a given company or debentures of a company, then that company will allot you. Like how in college you all go and you take a brochure, then it means you take a brochure, then there is an application form you fill, and then you're allotted your seats. Similarly, you first apply for shares and debentures, and then allotment takes place. Okay, so that is known as allotment. Amalgamation, when there are two or more autonomous businesses which merge together and become a single undertaking. Complete this chapter with me. I'm going like I'm doing everything. Then you have American depository receipts. Okay, now American depository receipts, maybe this is something new for you all, but it is a receipt showing evidence that shares of a foreign company are held on deposit or under control of US banking institution, used to facilitate transaction and expedite transfer of beneficial ownership for a foreign security in United States. Now, to put it in very simple terms, say suppose I have shares of Reliance Industries Limited, Indian company, correct? Okay, so I have shares of this Indian company. It will be known as share certificate I have. Okay. Similarly, if there is a company in America, okay, and they are issuing their shares to Indians, okay, they can issue it to anybody. I am taking an example that they are issuing their shares to Indians. So instead of share certificate, they will give you a depository receipt, okay, issued by that banking institution of US for that company who is issuing you the particular deposit. That is why it is known as depository receipt and not a share certificate. It will be denominated in the American currency, in dollars, US dollars. Okay, and it will also be given by that US company. That is the only simple difference over here. Okay, American depository receipt. Clear? Okay. Then amortization. Have you all heard about depreciation? You all know what is depreciation? Come on, answer please.
Yes, ma'am.
What is depreciation, dear? Can you explain?
Loss of value of fixed assets.
Yes, loss in the value of fixed assets. Very nice. Perfect. Loss in the value of fixed assets. So like how fixed assets keep on there is a value declining for the fixed asset year after year, we put depreciation. Similarly, there are certain assets, okay, which are depreciating, okay, though they are not, we cannot see, touch and feel those assets, but amortization will happen. For example, like your patents, your trademarks, okay, some type of those assets are also there which has a depleting value, okay. So for in that case we use the term amortization and not depreciation. Okay, so it is gradually writing off the liability either or a debt over a period of time, amortizing a debt, reducing the debt. Okay, through depreciation of wasting assets, through operation of sinking or purchase fund. So whatever depreciation which we are doing, which is also known as like amortization, we keep in a separate fund. Okay, and we keep on putting, see now, in depreciation generally, if I will tell you that the value of asset is 1 lakh and we are going to depreciate every year 10,000, so basically 10,000 is not a cash expense, no, it is a non cash expense. You are just reducing the value of the asset. So instead of reducing it only on the books, remove that 10,000, put it in a separate fund, name that fund as a sinking fund or a purchase fund. So over a period of 10 years, you will again have 1 lakh rupees in your account. You will be able to buy a new asset with that, no? Correct. So that is what is known as sinking fund or purchase fund. Now the organizations have become very smart. They don't want to keep their money lying down or just put that expense for the sake of it. They start putting in a piggy bank so that they have that amount, there with them after a given period of time, right? Then we have annual return. Annual return, yearly returns of profit and loss statement, etc. Okay, the balance sheet, the director's report, the auditor's statement, which has to go to the shareholders, which has to go to the government authorities, to the registrar, ROC, MCA, all that. Then you have annuity, a sum of money, fixed sum of money. It is payable for the whole or part of the person's life, like you have your insurance policy, etc. Okay, so annuity. Appeal, you all must have heard a lot about appeal in movies and all. Okay, when a decision of the court, okay, has been appealed in a higher court. Okay, so from sessions court you go to the higher court, from high court you go to supreme court. Okay, appeal. Then appearance, not physical appearance. Appearance is a official court form. It is in a form. You have to fill that form with the court clerk, which tells the court that you are going to represent yourself in a given lawsuit or a criminal case, or that an attorney is representing you. Either you represent yourself for a given case, or you have appointed advocate so and so to represent you. So you have to fill that form. Then you have appellant, the party which is going to appeal the decision or the judgment to the higher court will be known as the appellant. Then arbitrage. Okay, arbitrage means taking advantage of different price of the security traded. Arbitrage. Okay, taking advantage of different price of a security which is being traded on the market. Okay, then 24, asset. Asset means anything where value of money can be attached. Okay, you can have cash, physical assets like land and building. You have tangible assets, these are tangible, building, then land, furniture and fixtures. Then you have intangible assets like patents, trademark, goodwill. Asset turnover, when the asset turnover is nothing but it is the sales, amount of sales you did in a year divided by your total assets, just to know that how much of your turnover is there. Okay, you have got so many assets. Okay, assets is a long term expense, it's a capital expense. So if you have to know whether you are able to generate that much of turnover by using those assets, so it is just for knowing comparison. 26, assets include everything that the company owns and has some economic value. asset turnover, and assets. Okay. Then assignment. What is an assignment? When I transfer a right, okay, I transfer any right, title, interest of one property from one person to another person, it will be known as assignment. So I assign my entire business. It has to be done in writing. Okay, it must be absolute and it has to be done in writing. Then ASHOCAM, it is nothing but a short form of Associate Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Okay, one of the bodies that represent Indian industry. Assurance. This term originally denoted a form of protection against events, assurance, okay, which must happen, that is death. Insurance was used for the cover against loss linked with contingencies such as fire or lightning. So, assurance you use when there is some amount of loss, which there will be protection, for a loss which will happen for a certain event, which is that very certain, that is certain, there is nothing much more certain than that. Okay, so that is the certain event, so we call it assurance. In case of any other kind of contingencies, which is like fire, robbery, etc., we say term it as insurance. Hmm? Attachment. Attachment means there is a lien on your property. You have taken a loan and you have put your car as a lien. So your property is being attached. There is say some court case going on a property which you hold. There is an attachment done by the court until the final judgment will arrive. Then attestation. You need a signature of an authorized person. Self attestation means you yourself only sign on those documents. Attorney, a legally appointed person who is going to, okay, legally appointed person to carry on specific tax. So you can have an attorney appointed. You have to give the power to that particular person. So you can give them specific powers. Say you are staying abroad and you want to give power to your mother. Okay, that you appoint your mother as an attorney, that she is going to take care of your bank balances, of your movable properties, of your immovable properties, etc. Empowered, a person empowered, okay, to act on behalf of that particular person. General purpose, specific purpose can also be there. Then attorney for record, attorney who names appears in the permanent records or files of the case, of a given case filed in the court. Auction, public auction for the goods or any property which is being done as in form of bidding. Audit, examination of all the accounts which are there of the business, okay, whether the financial statements give a true and fair view. Then coming to B, bad debt. Okay, a bad debt, a debt which is impossible to collect. You have given some credit to your debtor, now that debtor is not paying, only now you have also lost all connections with him, the debt is gone bad. Okay. Then bail. Bail is also known as bond. Okay, it is also known as bond. You have to give a bond, in which you sign that bond, okay, that amount, okay, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, for the purpose of the temporary release of the defendant, okay, if he is put in the custody. Then 37, then 38, balance sheet, which gives the final statement of all the assets and liabilities. Bank account, we all know what is it. Bank rate, the maximum lending or the borrowing rate determined by RBI, important. Then bank statement, passbook statement, bank statement. Bankruptcy. Okay. Bankruptcy means what? The assets, okay, the value in which the liabilities are so much that the assets are not enough only to fulfill that liabilities. Bankruptcy. A situation, a reverse situation, loss situation. 43. Book value. Book value means value of those assets which are appearing in your book. See, assets have different value. One is your historical value, the cost at which you had purchased 1 lakh rupees. Then over the year you are depreciating and then showing it as 50,000 rupees in your books. So that will be the book value. Tomorrow, if I want to replace it, I want to sell this asset in the market. I will get some amount in scrap, that will be known as the scrap value. So different values one asset can have. Okay. Then we have bookkeeping, the method of accounting. Okay, recording all the financial transaction. Bounce to check. It does not get cleared due to some error in the check, or there is no money in the person's account who issued you the check. Break even point is that point where there is no profit, no loss. No profit, no loss situation. Break even. So say I started my business just this year. Okay. So of course, any business you start, the first very year you're not going to hit profit. You are going to make some loss. So this year say I made loss. Next year also the loss was there, but it was comparatively less than the previous year. And then the third year I reached a point where I don't even have loss and I don't even have profit. I have reached my break even. Once I reach my break even, I know that after this there will be always profit. Okay. Buy and sell agreement, it is, it is there between the buyer and the seller. It is an agreement designed to address the situation in which one or more of the entrepreneurs want to sell their interest in the venture. They want to sell their whole venture, their organization. Call. Okay, now what is call? Whenever the shares are issued, okay, as I told you, say the value, face value of the share is rupees 10. What happens is total amount of 10 you do not pay and take the share unless you are taking shares from the market. Okay, when a company issues shares at the first stage, they have stages. Okay, installment payment, which is known as, so they have application, allotment, and call money. So at the application you pay 2 rupees, at allotment of that share time you pay 3 rupees, and then at the time of call you pay 5 rupees. So call is nothing but call money. Right now the directors and the company don't need it, so they are saying that whenever we will need it we will call, we will send you a letter, you come and you make the payment. Okay, so it is nothing but the amount where a demand is made to make that payment when the shares are partly paid up. 5 rupees is paid, 5 was balance. Okay. Capital, the amount of the initial money which we invest in doing the business. All right. Capital expenditure, spending on capital assets like plant, building, equipments, fixed assets, long term assets, whose value will depreciate over the years. But when you use those assets, that is how you're going to do your business, and it will generate you fruits, profits as well. Case, a lawsuit, an action, case laws, judgments given by the courts. Okay, a prayer, when you want to, kind of study a given matter in law, you can refer to the previous case laws in what the judgments was given. Cash discount. Okay, the initial discount in the normal trade discount, offered. So say if I have a debtor, okay, from whom I have to take rupees 5,000, so I'm telling him, see, if you are paying me in 2 days, no, I am giving you 20% discount, just pay me rupees 4,000. Cash discount at the time of taking money. Hmm? Then we have cash flow statement. This is which number? So sorry, 53, 54. Cash flow statement. Okay, we have three important financial statements. One is our income statement, which is a profit and loss statement. Then we have our balance sheet. And the third most important statement is our cash flow statement. Many of you all might not be aware, but cash flow statement is very, very important. It is one of the pillars of your financial statements. Why? Because it will give you the actual cash inflow and outflow happening in the business in that period. Actual cash, what is coming in and what is going on. Okay, so it is a reconciliation of all the items that is appearing in your balance sheet as well as in your income or your profit and loss statement. Okay, important. Then you have cause list. It is issued by the registry of the matters to be heard by the court on that day. Okay, cause list, what all matters are going to be heard. Cause list contains information like the bench, courtroom number, and the position of the matter. 56. Caveat emptor. Caveat emptor is nothing but it is a legal doctrine, a legal law, which says that let the buyer be aware. So if you are buying something, you also have to be cautious. Okay, now if I am buying a glass of curd in which already that expiry date is mentioned and it is got expired, then also I'm going ahead and I'm buying a carton of it. So I'm a buyer when I am being disclosed all the information regarding the quality of that product, I have to be aware. Caveat emptor. Okay, important. What is a check? We all know a check is nothing but a negotiable instrument drawn on a bank when the drawer has an account in that bank. So it is ordering that bank to make a payment to another bank for that particular pay. Check. You'll have to read everything what is there inside. MCQ is of course going to be asked. But if you all will know the concept, let them ask anything, you will be able to select the right MCQ. Collateral. Again, if I'm kind of a security which I give against any kind of loan or something I'm taking. So collateral I have been provided with. So I have taken a say bank loan for my property of a buying a house. I have mortgaged it and in collateral security I have given some form of my fixed assets, which is the house again. Then you have commission. It is paid to an agent or a broker for selling your goods and services. Brokers is real estate brokers. They take commission from us. Okay. Common law. Law that develops through the cases and decisions given by judge. They are not enacted. You will not find them as an act. Okay. They are not given by the legislative body. They are those laws which are formed by the judges over the period of time with the respect of what has been happened in that case. Okay. Then complaint. It is a document, legal document that tells the court what you want. Okay. And is served with summons on the defendant to begin the case. So you have filed a complaint. It's a legal document. Condition. You have some stipulation, some specification, some binding on signatories of the legal contract and the breach of which entitles aggrieved party to rescind the contract. Means there are certain terms, certain condition in which you have mentioned, just some time back, last week I had done one property related case where there was a buyer and the seller of a given flat, okay, which is located here only in Mumbai. And the value was really high. It was 4.5 cr of the property. Now what was happening is the buyer had already made half payment was done. Okay, almost around 3 cr he had already paid, only 1.5 cr was there. But when I drafted the agreement, there was a specific condition mentioned that this 1.5 cr will be paid to the seller only after getting NOC from the society, because there was some issue of not getting that NOC from that particular society. And if this condition is not completed within 2 weeks, okay, from the payment of this or previous payment, they said that we will rescind the contract, we'll cancel it, you have to pay us back with interest. So there are certain conditions, specifications which can be there. Then consignment. Consignment, transferring the title of goods, the details of which are given in the performa invoice to the agent for the sale. Okay, so I have some goods, I have my agent, I am giving my entire consignment to my agent, I am telling him to sell those goods on my behalf. Then we have consortium. Okay, consortium means what? An association of companies formed for the purpose of undertaking a particular activity. So there may be no other connection between these companies outside this activity. So once this activity is being accomplished, then they again dissolve. Okay. Contempt of court. Contempt of court means disobeying any order in the court, or being loud or disrespectful to the judge. Contract. It is an agreement between the party. It has created legal obligations under law. 67, cost. Expenses in prosecuting or defending a case. Then we have cover note. A document issued by the insurance company to provide cover to the insured till a formal policy document is being issued. So until the entire policy document is made, which takes certain days time, they give you at least a cover note which gives you the basic summary. Credit. When you provide credit, okay, for the goods you have sold or services you have rendered. Credit note. Okay, it's document which is sent by the seller, obviously, no, to the buyer to rectify an error of overcharge in the invoice or to allow credit for the goods return. It is entered in the books of accounts. Okay, so basically what happens is, say suppose you have purchased some product, okay, from Samsung, and what happened is that that product was a defective piece. So you went back to the Samsung showroom and you said you want to refund it, and you want to have another product, but that same product was not available. It was, they told you that it will come in some days time, 10-15 days time. So, and there is no refund policy. They will not refund you your 10,000 rupees. Say example, 10,000 rupees was the cost. They said that we will give you a credit note instead. Credit note is given by the seller, means Samsung gave it to you saying that this was an error in the product. This is your amount which is outstanding by us. Okay, means we have to give you a product. So if this particular credit note is valid for this 3 months, 6 months, anytime you want, you can come back and take this same product whenever it is available. Okay, that is known as a credit note. Then we have a CRISIL. CRISIL is nothing but a Credit Rating and Information Services of India Limited. It is an agency set up in April 1988. Okay, they are those agencies, they are like auditors. Okay, so when an organization when wants to come up, a company, okay, limited by shares, they want to come up with an IPO, they want to get money raised from the public. So just generally they will just not come, no, they will not come and make announcement that okay, yes, we are coming, please invest in a company. There is a procedure to be followed. So they invite these rating agencies to their organization just to know that how well is their business fundamentals carried on. Okay, so tomorrow if say I want to invest in that company, I will have a look at the brochure. In the brochure they will mention that how many stars have been given by the credit rating agency. 3 stars, 2 stars, like how you go for a movie and you have stars. Based on that, see, it does not tell you whether you should go or not go. Okay, similarly, this credit rating agency does not tell you or advise you that invest or don't invest. Their work is to give the rating. Then, based on the rating, even if it is one rating, sometimes we go and watch that movie. Okay, so it is just the rating given by these agencies. Then, crisis. What is crisis? We all know. Okay, heavy short sales leading unduly depressed prices. In such situation, governing body of the stock exchange may prohibit short sales, fix minimum prices below which sales or purchase cannot be permanent permitted. Then we have cross examination, cross questioning the parties. CRR, cash reserve ratio, which is given by the RBI. Okay, the banks have to maintain that much of cash within their bank, okay, as a reserved ratio. Okay, it is a measure of security. Current assets, okay, short term assets. Current debt, it will be short term debt, short term liabilities. Current liabilities, same thing. Damages, compensation which is awarded by the court of law for a breach of contract in a civil litigation. Okay, So say a given party, aggrieved party, has suffered a lot of loss, the court will then order for the damages to be paid to that aggrieved party. Then you have day order that remains valid for the day it is entered. Okay, unless it is automatically cancelled at the end of the trading day. Then you have debentures, like how we have shares, you become a shareholder. Debenture is nothing but a liability on the company. Okay, so we are the creditors. If you are having debentures of say Tata, okay, or you say XYZ company has issued debentures. So on debentures you do not get this you get interest. Okay, you do not get paid dividend or something, because it is a liability on the company. We become the creditors. Debenture holders are the creditors of the organization. Debit note, the same thing like which I explained you for the credit note. Apply that same example and say if there was an undercharge done by the seller had to take 12,000 rupees from you, but he took 10,000 rupees. Okay, so it is like a supplementary invoice given by the seller that later on you pay this 2,000 rupees. It will be known as a debit note. Debt and equity, two different things. Okay, debt is the liability, equity is the capital, shareholders, liability and capital. Debt financing. Debt financing means when you borrow money from the lender and you agree to repay the principal with the interest in the regular payment period method every year, 6 monthly, 3 monthly. Okay. Then you have declaration. Okay, an unsworn statement. It is not an oath statement. Declaration is an unsworn statement of facts made by a party for the transactions. Then deed. Again, it is a legal document, so you which is signed, sealed, delivered by the person making deed. So you can have a sale deed, you can have a release deed, etc. Default, when you are unable to pay something, default, or fail to respond to an answer to the plaintiff claim. Okay, you have defaulted. Defendant is the person to on whom you have filed the case. Okay, so in case of civil cases, they are known as respondent. Okay, they are also known as respondent. See, they have written in civil cases, the person who is giving the court papers are also called as respondent. In criminal cases, the person who is arrested and charged with a crime, they are known as defendant. Dematerialization. Dematerialization, simple. All this now, these shares, debentures, everything is now done through, cash. Means like there is no physical mode. It is all electronic way of holding the shares. So even I have my Reliance shares, I don't have share certificate. They are all in the electronic form. That is known as dematerialization. Okay. So next is depository. It is that organization, okay, through whom all the depository participants are working. Now, if I am telling you that I am holding the shares of Reliance in electronic form, so tomorrow, now so many people are holding it in electronic form. Now, tomorrow, if Reliance wants to pay me dividend, how will they pay? Because today I have this 12 shares. Yesterday only I sold 6. So now that 6 shares which I sold, someone must have purchased no on the other side. What if they have also sold to someone else, or they have purchased more? Then again I am purchasing some more shares tomorrow. How will the company tomorrow know that whom to pay to the dividend to? So then the shares are kept in the name of the depository. We have two depository, NSDL and CDSL. They are the ones who hold our shares etc in electronic form. Okay, like the beneficial owners. We are the beneficial owners. The names of these people are there in the register of the company. Okay, by all this number of shares, we have put to NSDL and CDSL, and they have given it in electronic form. Now, NSDL and CDSL, how will they give? So, we have all depository participants like HDFC Bank, ICICI, we have Zerodha, all those are the depository participants. You are supposed to open an account with them, put money in that, buy shares from them. Okay, so that is known as a depository. NSDL and CDSL, there are two depositories. Then we have depreciation, we all know. Derivative markets, where there are futures and options. Okay, we have the stock market in which normal trading, which we take place, like we buy shares or we buy debentures, sell them. There are certain markets which is known as a derivative market where future options trading are also done. Okay, where actually we don't really get those shares or something, we are just trading based on the prices fluctuating of NSE and BSE. Then we have differentiation. Okay, differentiation is the is an approach to create a competitive advantage based on obtaining a significant value difference that the customer will appreciate. Something different you would want to do in order to penetrate in the market, or you want to become visible in the market. Disbursement, okay, a legitimate payment made, okay, sum of money made. So when you take a loan, there is a disbursement of loan which happens from the bank to your account. Discount, discounted bill. Say I have a bill of exchange. Okay, I had issued it to my buyers. Now my total bill of exchange is of rupees 5 lakhs. Okay, now I know that this bill my debtor is going to pay me after 3-4 months. I don't want to wait. I go to the bank and I get it discounted. So the bank says, okay, we will cut 10% or 5% and balance we will pay to you. So 4,50,000 they paid to me. I get my money. Now it is bank's headache to get this 5 lakhs from the debtor. Correct? Then dismissal, a judge decision to end the case, dismiss the case. Dispose, ending a legal case or a judicial proceeding. Disposition, the manner in which a case is settled or resolved. Dissolution, a legal end of a marriage, which is also called as a divorce. Dissolution happens even in case of companies. Dividend, when you are holding shares, the return you get on the shares is known as a dividend. Title documents, I have forgotten to mention the number, but it's okay, you all can mention it later. Title documents are those documents which give you a conclusive evidence of your ownership of a given property or an asset. Domicile, a permanent home of a person. Draft, anything which the parties assent to require. Okay, so it is a document which is in a draft stage. Then dumping, selling goods in the market, generally overseas market, at a price which is way below the cost of that product. Dumping. Okay, then we have any doubts so far until this? You all want to ask any question? Any terminology you all have not understood?
No, ma'am.
So I can help you all right away only. No, I'll continue. Fine. Sure. Earnest money. Earnest money is that that initial money, okay, which is being collected. So say if you go to a builder and you're buying a property from the builder, he will tell you make 10% payment earnest money and then rest you can keep on paying as installment. Okay, sometimes earnest money is also you can term it as a money which is in the form of a refundable security. Okay, you have given your house on rent and you are taking some deposit money. Okay, say 2-3 months rent you are taking in form of deposit, you have to return it. Okay, so even a refundable security can be known as earnest money. Earnings of an organization before applying interest and tax is known as EBIT. Earnings of an organization, profit, earnings, profit, whatever, of an organization before tax, interest, depreciation, and amortization is known as EBITDA. Okay, EBITDA. Economies of scale, they are nothing but the benefit of large production volume. Okay, so that your fixed cost can be spread across. Economies of scale. Okay, so you say if you have lot of fixed cost over manufacturing of a given product, so if you manufacture more, your output is more, so your cost will also get divided, no? So that is known as economies of scale. ED means enforcement directorate. Encumbrance, there is some liability on the property which you have not cleared, there is a burden on the owner. Endorsement, when you write it on the back of a bill of exchange, okay, that is an order check authorizing the bank to pay the bearer or specified person or prohibit further endorsement. Endorsement is nothing but writing it on the reverse. So say there was I had given an example, buyer and seller, no? One minute. So there is a buyer, okay, and there is a seller. So buyer had taken the goods and seller had taken up an invoice. He raised an invoice. Okay, he gave the goods on credit and he also gave the invoice. So buyer said, okay, I will pay it to you. So now seller said, okay. After 2 months, the buyer came taking the invoice. He said that do one thing, do not pay it to me. He writes on behind the back, just pay it to Mr. C. Why? Because S has to pay to C. That is known as endorsement. Entrepreneur, the ones who start a new business venture, okay, who recognizes and pursues opportunities others may not seek it so clearly. Earning per share. Earning per share means of you're talking about your share. So how much is the net profit of your company? Say there is 5 lakh rupees as a net profit of the company and there are 10,000 shares only. So how much will be the value? 50 rupees earning per share. Simple. Net profit divided by number of shares. Escrow account. Okay. Escrow account means it is again a mode of security. It is a mode of security for some period. It is open so that a legal document or some money, okay, can be kept in the custody of the third party. So tomorrow, say you are doing a buyback of shares. Okay, if a company does buyback, company needs to have that much of money to do the buyback to pay to the shareholders. So as a security, the organization SEBI and all of them, they say that do one thing, first you put some of the money or shares or something in this escrow account, a legal document in the escrow account, so that we are rest assured that yes, you will make the payment. Okay, then we have ESOP, employee stock option, when employees are also given to apply for the shares of the organization. Estimate, it is a forecast of the total cost or profit, etc. future. Evidence, documents for which are there, or testamentary documents, objects which are presented before a case to prove a fact. Ex gratia, some action, normally the payment of money taken where there is no legal necessity to do so, but where some moral obligation is recognized. Just as a moral obligation, you are making the payment. Ex parte. Ex parte means one sided decision. Okay, where the other party has not arrived, you have done a one sided decision. Ex dock, ship, warehouse. Okay, the prices, sorry, exchequer I missed. The treasury of the government is known as exchequer. Ex dock or ship warehouse, the prices which exclude all the expenses after the goods have been delivered on the docks. Then we have executor, a person named in the will of the deceased testator to administer or carry out his provisions and directions is known as an executor. Expected return, if I have invested my money, I am expecting at least 10% return. That is known as expected return. Extrinsic value, the amount by which the market price of an option exceeds that amount could be realized if the option were exercised. Now this is specifically for employee stock option related matter. Okay, generally when employees are given stocks or shares, they are given an option to buy the stocks. Okay, so if the value in the market is say rupees 20, okay, face value of the share is say rupees 10 only, and we are giving the options to the employees to buy the share. Okay, options value is only 5 rupees. So basically it is the amount by which the market price of an option exceeds the amount that could be realized if the options were exercised. Okay, so if I would have exercised the option, I will have to pay only rupees 5. And if I would have actually gone to the market and take obviously 20 rupees, so 15 rupees is my extrinsic value. I'm saving on 15 rupees if I'll exercise this option. Face value, the value at which a particular share or debenture is being there, the nominal value. Okay, nominal value can be higher, lower than the market value. That's a different thing. We get dividend and interest always on the face value of the shares and debentures. Factor. Factor is nothing but a mercantile agent who deals in his own name, but he enjoys the right to hold and dispose of the goods on behalf of the principal. Like how we have agent principal, same thing. FEMA is Foreign Exchange Management Act. FICC, again, Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Fiduciary, imposing an obligation of trust. Fiduciary relationship, okay, where there is an imposition of legal as well as moral relationship, and fiduciary relationship of our parents with us. Okay, they are in the position of wherein we put in their all trust in them and they put in all trust on us. Financial statements, it is an integral part of an organization furnishing all the information about the business. Finding, the court or jury's decision on issue of facts. FIPB, Foreign Investment Promotion Board. Firm, where there are collective partners doing the business. Firm offer, a commitment to sell at a certain price subject to acceptance of an offer within a specified time. Fiscal, relating to raising and use of money by the government only. So fiscal. Fixed assets, we all know, fixed interest rate. Okay, wherein where a loan is given, fixed interest rate will be 10% per annum. Fixed. Floating interest rate means it keeps on changing depending upon whatever changes happen in the market. Foreign exchange, denoting the currency of another country. Foreign exchange rate, where we compare the price of one country with the terms of another. Forward contract. A forward contract is nothing where a party agrees to deliver at a specified future time a specified certain amount of specified securities at an agreed rate. Okay, so the delivery is also in the future, hence it is known as forward contract. Delivery is in the future, okay, of some amount of securities. Like securities means we're talking about the market securities, okay, and at an agreed rate today. So you agree that rate today, but your delivery is in the future. Forward delivery, a term implying the goods transacted will be delivered at a future date. Forward trading means, it means deferment of contracts traded at present to some future date at the current price. Same thing. Future dated, but the price is current. Freight, the consideration paid for carrying of the goods. Then we have futures, where the purchase of the commodities, any commodity or currency or financial instruments for delivery at some future time. It protects the buyer against the reasonable possible rise in the price. Trading in futures may carry an element of speculation and is also done in hedging exercises. Now, what is futures? For example, say I am running a restaurant, okay, and where I am selling what? I'm selling pav bhaji. Okay, futures contract. Now every day I will go to buy the ingredients. I will have no somebody. I will have some wholesaler there with me who is going to provide me with all the ingredients. So I enter into a futures contract with him. So I enter into a futures contract with him, telling him that every time, every month I'm going to purchase some 100 kgs of onions and tomatoes, etc., and we'll decide the price now only. Okay, so the price will be rupees 20 per kg. So now this is the contract which you all have already entered into. So tomorrow, if the price of this onion, tomato, etc. falls at rupees 10, you will still have to buy it at rupees 20. and if it rises to rupees 30, you will still get that commodity at rupees 20. That is known as futures contract. Okay, so I am completing up until this, the balance, from alphabet G to some more. I will be taking it up tomorrow probably. Okay, if not tomorrow, then we again meet on Monday and we will complete it then. Okay, so finish reading it up till here. Okay, if you all have any more queries, you all can ask me. So I'm done for today. I'll see you all later again. Okay, and we'll continue this particular chapter. Okay, bye bye.